Hello, this is the Hidden Layers podcast, and I'm your host, Michał Brzątka. Today, we are talking about hiring and recruitment. AI is reshaping modern knowledge work. This affects not only what skills we should learn, but also what kind of talent companies need to flourish. Just as we, humans, must keep learning and upskilling, the whole recruitment process needs to adapt to this new, powerful technology. And this is the topic for today. For today's conversation, I invited two great guests. Wiktor Żołnowski, CEO of Pragmatic Coders, a software agency building products and leveraging AI in their process, and Łukasz Wróbel, consultant and founder of Job4Agent, which is the first marketplace where companies can advertise jobs not for humans, but for AI agents. It's a fascinating and broad topic, and we covered a lot in just 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the episode. So we can actually just dive straight into it. But before we start, I just want to say big thanks to all the listeners of the first episode of this podcast. The feedback was very meaningful for me. I got a new microphone, so you've been heard. And I hope this episode will be much more enjoyable because of that. Okay, so hiring and recruitment, that's the topic for today. To give some context, I would be very interested to hear how you use AI in your own professional work these days. Wiktor, maybe you want to start.
I'm using it extensively, starting from some basic stuff like custom GPT models for my day-to-day work that helps me to better understand the company data, or that helps me to create some content. So, for example, I have the custom GPT model where I exported all of my LinkedIn comments and posts from the last year or so. I fed it to the GPT model. So right now, when I want to write something, I'm usually using GPT to assist me in writing some new content on LinkedIn. So this kind of GPT that knows me, that knows my style or my tone of voice, it also helps me to generate some ideas for content. And especially it's very helpful when I'm answering the comments, especially where the comments are not friendly and I still need to be polite.
What about other people in your company and activity outside content on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so for example, like our marketing team is using AI a lot. Our IT, of course, is using AI every day. Like all of our developers are using it for coding. Our managers and also developers are using it for managing the products or as a knowledge base. We are using, for example, Nathan for some AI agents and some workflows to automate a lot of stuff. When we have a new contact from a client, for a new client, like if there's a lead that send a message to our contact form or to the email, it goes directly to our Slack channel. And then there is an AI that is actually reading the message, browsing the internet, searching for the client's company, for the client itself, and it's providing all of the information about this client, so the summary of who the client is. And it's also doing some scoring, some lead scoring, so it helps us to distinguish which are the clients that we need to focus more, which we can focus less a little bit.
Cool. Łukasz, what about you?
Yeah, so I've noticed a huge change of the quality, how I rate the responses I get from ChatGPT or Gemini after I added custom prompts for the general system instructions. There is a personalization option in ChatGPT, and I've experimented a lot with this prompt. And right now, I really feel that the answers give me what I expect. So my system prompt is very explicit that I like to be skeptical about recommendations. I like to explore edge cases. I like it to show me the gaps in the responses and so on. I like to dive deeply into topics I'm completely unaware of or have no expertise. But thanks to that, it gives me very predictable results. So I can quickly decide which path we should go go further, and it really helps. And I'm also a huge fan of building those small custom GPTs or gems in Gemini that encapsulate some process or some knowledge area. I have a GPT for designing proposals for customers, because it's also a process I've crystallized and designed for my own. So as a result, I have a lot of separate markdown documents for different areas. And when I'm not working on code, but maybe on scoping the project, I have markdown best practices, and it basically speeds up a lot of non-coding tasks for me. Most of my tasks are about brainstorming and combining different frameworks.
I use AI extensively in my own work. I code myself a lot as well, so I use Cloud Code as a coding assistant. As I use custom GPTs for various processes. I also build some simple scripts. For example, if I want to have a summary for some paper that I'm planning to read, but maybe I don't want to read it, or I want to potentially watch a YouTube video, I just quickly go through this kind of simple wrapper that gives me a summary that I want to have. I do research, of course, either just standard kind of questions to GPT, or doing deep research with any of the deep research tools. I also use tools a lot. I use note-taking tools. I also even use the AI to prepare for this podcast. I use Notebook ML to kind of have a good structure of my notes. I prompted GPT to be you, to be the guest, and then we have an audio conversation where I could just like maybe, dry run a little bit some of the questions. Like I know a lot about different tools and how to incorporate them. To be honest, sometimes it even feels like cheating. I remember like the first time I prepped a presentation for a client based on some notes or some brief after our meeting, and I just had a lot of scattered thoughts. It was already enough to actually put like a proper thing for the client, but I would spend like 1 hour normally doing that, and with an AI assistant it literally took 2 minutes or maybe 5, if you are unlucky. So that's crazy. It doesn't feel like cheating anymore, but cheating is actually one of the things that I want to discuss in our first segment. As an employer, let's frame it this way. As an employer, I want to hire people like you. I want to obviously, or myself. Obviously, these are those skills are valuable. But at the same time, those people who are very experienced are very quick to circumvent a traditional recruitment process, which is around maybe solving some rather simple task, or maybe 5 years ago this wouldn't be a simple task, but now it's you throw this task at GPT and it is very easy to solve it this way. Wiktor, how do you cope with that, given that you are managing an agency and you have to recruit people? Do you see cheaters in your pipeline?
Well, we completely eliminated it by one simple step that we made. Like we came back to the office. Yeah. Since we came back to the office, we invite candidates to the office for the interviews, and that eliminated the problem of cheating with AI. But what we are doing, we are actually asking people to use AI during the interview, and this is like right now one of the critical thing that we are looking at, how they use the AI. And of course, like the entire process and what we judge during the interview changed a little bit, maybe not a lot, but a little bit, because the programming changed itself. So the skills that programmers used to have some time ago, right now, some of them are irrelevant, and some of them are very relevant right now. And even if they haven't been so important in the past, we always ask them to use AI. This is one thing. And secondly, what we pay attention to is how they use the AI, and if they are able to see where the AI is wrong and what needs to be improved. Like, for example, code complexity. This is something that AI, without proper prompting, AI is providing you usually very complex solutions, or the solutions that on the algorithmic level are not optimal.
I think the same thing applies to pretty much any job. I mean, I can imagine like a marketing specialist or a project manager, going through the recruitment process. You just get a question, throw it at ChatGPT, get back the answer that you can recite. Łukasz, but is this really cheating? As in, like, we actually expect those people to leverage those tools. So maybe it's the process which is broken.
I have a slightly maybe dangerous take, but I would say that what we call cheating here may mean different things to different people. It's not that binary, and I think that cheating with ChatGPT, as we painted it here, may actually be the best thing that happens to hiring processes in years, because it is actually stress testing the entire system, the entire process, and how people approach hiring. Wiktor's example was a great case how hiring is evolving. So if pasting your questions to ChatGPT is considered cheating, so probably your questions were never filtering the right attributes of candidates. So it's also a systemic issue, because when hiring system is optimized for testing candidates using standard tests and coding problems, the response from candidates is that they spend 3 months studying lead code or practicing sorting algorithms and building neural nets from scratch. But the issue is that those are not the skills that will be relevant on day one after they are hired. Even if you were tasked to write it, you wouldn't approach it like the testing process expect you to do. So you wouldn't assume that you are the smartest person on earth and design the algorithms from scratch. You would start with the research. You would find the state-of-the-art libraries that do this task and look into the code and find what patterns you may borrow. So the problem with the hiring process I see is that we are not testing for the right things. We are testing what is easy to measure or what gives us a better way to present metrics and to sort candidates and to put them into buckets. But the real skills that are relevant on daily basis are more about debugging, how you deal with complexity, how you solve problems what do you do when you don't know what to do? How do you define problem? Are you good at extracting the signals from business stakeholders and framing them into coding, building blocks? Do you think in layers? Like, can you separate the different concerns?
You're already kind of. I want to go on this, go deep on this as well, because I want one takeaway from this conversation is to actually be like a list of skills that we think that we should be, people be learning. But let's just explore this cheating aspect a little bit more, and we will come back to this, Łukasz. I promise. You made a very interesting point that the GPT for candidates and candidates cheating with GPT is a stress test for the system. I completely agree, and I think that we also need to realize that just like humans, let's say, now going through transformation of sorts, and companies are going through transformation of sorts, upskilling their people, bringing talent, recruiting people who are skilled in leveraging AI. At the same time, the whole process needs a sort of transformation, like the whole recruitment process. So I agree, it is a stress test, and GPT is very kind of basic example. There is an industry of applications that facilitate cheating right now. Yeah, I mean, just top of my head, Lead Code Wizard, or one funny name is, I think, cheating daddy or coding daddy, some crazy name like that, and you pay $50 or something like that, and you have an app that is able to listen to the conversation that you are having with a potential employer. It sees the stuff that's happening on your screen and is able to give you prompts so that you recite again the answers that make sense in the given context. Be it technical answers, maybe non-technical like marketing, and one can say, well, of course this is going to be detected because those answers are too perfect, too verbose. But it is an arms race because wait for it, the applications have a special feature that makes those answers that they provide not perfect. Yeah. And again, like just to hide the fact that you are using it, sometimes you are maybe slipping a mistake here and there, and that looks more human. And I think this feature itself is called like making answers more humane or humanizing the answers. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Maybe to directly jump into that on a higher level, I would say that this dynamic is interesting because for a long time it were the hiring managers, the HR teams, unproportionally empowered by the technology, and in a way they weaponized it, and they build the layers of filtering, like automatic CV screening and so on, and it's how all systems work, that things are not static. So once candidates learned that this is how it works, someone created tools for optimizing for those metrics.
Well, definitely we are in interesting times when it comes to the recruitment and evaluating candidates. I want to come back to what Wiktor said earlier, that at your agency, you solve the problem by just going on site, and obviously face-to-face on-site recruitment is part of the process for you. The question is how to adapt and what to do. And you've mentioned this earlier, how you change your system. Some companies like Google or McKinsey just deliberately put face-to-face stage in the recruitment.
But like I don't see a point in challenging programmers right now with coding tasks when
I totally agree. Yeah,
with even the hardest problems. Like recently, this Polish guy Psycho became a world champion in programming, in algorithmic programming, and the second
last
one,
person to win with AI probably
with AI,
ever.
but AI was the second one. Yeah? So you have one
and not for
person,
long.
and not for long. Yes. So
Yeah.
why do you challenge programmers in this kind of stuff if you know that AI will beat them sooner or later? Will beat 99.9% of them all the time. So if we are there right now, then challenging problems that programmers with this kind of problems doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter as much. Of course, programmers need to know how to code. Programmers need to know how to optimize the code. They need to be aware of the algorithms, of design patterns, other stuff that are necessary to build high quality products at the end of the day. They need to be aware of testing, of other stuff. But what is way more important than it used to be right now is that the teams are smaller right now, and the teams are more competent or cross functional than ever before. Like everyone in the team need to be able to play any role that is possible. Everyone need to be a product manager. Everyone need to be a business analyst. From time to time, of course, they need to play these roles. They need to contact with the client. They need to do some data research, some market research, etc. So those are the new competencies that are required right now in a future or contemporary software or product development teams, which most of the companies are not assessing at all. But I've read, like, I think it was 2018, the book Hiring for Attitude, which says that they collect a lot of data, and they were checking how many mishires, which means like the person who wasn't the right fit for the company, how many of them was caused by the technical lack of technical skills? And that was only 20%. So 80% of mishires wasn't the technical skills problems. It was rather the culture fit or lack of learning or acting based on the feedback or other stuff. So those are the skills that it's nothing new. Those are the skills that need to be assessed.
I also want to make again the point that we are focusing on technical recruitment and technical conversation because of our immediate context. But I obviously see how the insights that you just gave apply to many different industries or many different roles.
I actually even if I can jump in, I explicitly did that for non-technical roles. So it's just a general good practice that works for business analysts. It worked for me for hiring data engineers and even some roles like Salesforce managers or admins. If you are a candidate and you understand how this process works, you may get better at passing the test, but it doesn't say doesn't necessarily means that you will automatically become the right fit for the company. You get good at jumping over the hoops, but the real work is something that is tested over a longer period and in less hermetic environment.
What needs to be done, how the recruitment process needs to be changed to adapt to this. There is a quote from a Fiverr CEO, I think he tweeted this, that impossible is the new hard. As in, like we have to stop thinking that we are going to do easy tasks. These are going to be automated and outsourced. But now there is stuff that used to be impossible for whatever reason that is within our reach. And I imagine that the recruitment process should reflect this shift. Yeah, we should actually build a recruitment process that assesses if people are able to perform at the level that was previously impossible. I remember reading an article about Canva, the design company, and how they are approaching this and how they kind of pushed the limit of what can be achieved during a simple conversation during recruitment, rather than giving a candidate a simple or more advanced technical task. They would throw huge problem at them, like design an air traffic control system. At the key difference versus companies that want to prevent candidates from using AIs is that Canva just like gives them all the tools they need and wants to assess how they think, how they cooperate with AIs. Because essentially, I strongly believe that we are, in the future, probably there are already companies that realize this now. We don't recruit humans. We recruit human plus AI system. I have a client who is also going through a big transformation right now because their old school remote fully automated process is broken because of the cheaters, and now they are going through an internal transformation. And I can't disclose the details, but I just want to say that they call this project of transforming their hiring process Blade Runner, as in like to distinguish between androids who are just proxies to LLMs and actual people who are able to work like augmented with AIs and solve impossible tasks. Again, impossible tasks in the sense that I presented earlier. I want to come back to a conversation about what skills are relevant these days. If we are indeed recruiting human plus AI systems, if we are recruiting, humans who are going to leverage those tools in their everyday work, what skills matter? As in, obviously, memorizing how to sort an array of numbers is no longer relevant. You've already mentioned this a few times, but if we could just maybe build a list, I suggest we just go each of us like one item on that list. Wiktor, we can start with you. What would you suggest to a person who wants to build a future-proof skill set? What is the skill that you see as important these days?
Okay, so number one that comes to my mind, it doesn't mean it's the most important, is time management and self-management. Like, this is something that I see a lot that people are missing. They don't know how to work alone. What about working in a team or whatever? So time management, self-management is something that is crucial right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Makes sense.
I would say, I would add another one. For me, number one thing would be system thinking. It's a skill of understanding that the world is not simple, and that there are many layers and many factors under each decision. And it's about knowing at which scale or which level of abstraction you have to attack the problem. It may sound, very, very high level, but on a pragmatic level, for example, for coding tasks, it is how well do you understand the environment your code is working.
Mm-hmm.
You are building a feature, but your feature is never in isolation.
I just want to add to what you've just said. One thing that I would name as an important skill is just general problem solving, as in like the ability to see through the complexity, decompose hard problems to smaller problems. Also, Wiktor, you mentioned earlier the ability to think critically and assess what you read. I think is also quite important. And I don't know whether this is really a separate skill. But yeah, just like being critical of what you see, and kind of, especially given how often the AIs can pretend to be very sure about stuff that they are bullshitting about to you. Yeah. And the kind of, you have to be on guard, and you have to like see through this kind of layer of bullshit easily.
I have a short anecdote on that exactly, because one of the first things I've built with large language models was a tool I built for assessing blind spots or identifying the different arguments. So the idea was that because it was GPT-3, so you pasted the text of an article, and as an output you got the key points and summary. It's something like a standard task now, but then I extracted main claims that author makes, and then for each claim I assessed if this claim is backed in article by some arguments, and how weak it is. And then we could go deeper, and I added an option to brainstorm the opposite perspective. So as a result, I quickly got a broader perspective, good understanding what an author is saying, but also what they are not saying. So it's also a skill that can apply to any department or any area. If you are good at finding your own blind spots, you are way ahead of other people who never even ask that.
So yeah,
that
kind
question.
of being self-critical, not only critical to what you read, but also
Yes.
like identify gaps in your own thinking. Wiktor, what was the other thing that you wanted to add to the list?
So I would say that I have three that are very interconnected with each other. One is the communication. The second is business orientation, or thinking about the business goal. The third one is adaptability, or the skill that is like a multi-skill in one, which is like the learning of the new stuff. And like if
Like the
someone
ability to learn. Yeah.
ability
Like
to learn,
yeah.
and be open for that, like be open to adapt all the time and learning new stuff, not sticking with the one tool that you know for years. And those three combined, like especially for IT people, for programmers, I have that message that I already said a few times in a few podcasts, that if you became a programmer because you don't like to talk to people, that changed, and you should adapt or you should change the job. Because right now programming is mainly talking to others, and that could be talking to
Or
your
to AI.
or to AI, but still you need to be this one man army, and still you need to work in teams, small teams, but still with other people, because that's probably the most effective way to work right now. Like 2 or 3 engineers, which are multi competent, like they have also the domain knowledge, the business domain knowledge. They have the access to the stakeholders, access to the clients, to users, access to data.
Mhm.
People need to adapt. People need to work on their communication skill. They need to focus on the business objectives as well. Like they need to understand where the money comes from.
One skill that I also find relevant now, I don't even know how to call it. I would call it drive, or maybe will, as in like I see many people now with those who were lacking the technical skills, but have been like, buzzing with the will to create something, buzzing with ideas. Now they are flourishing because they can just like, rather than waiting for somebody build something for them, they just have so much energy and can leverage that. And at the same time, people who are just like waiting for other people to tell them what to do, I mean, they are obsolete. Basically, like nobody isn't like, why talk to those people if you can talk and ask AI to do something for
exactly.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% on that. I would even split it into 2 tasks. So I would call it probably high agency, because it's about being self-driving and not asking people for permission, doing what needs to be done, and understanding the limitations, understanding when the constraints should be tested, and it's about thinking independently. Another important I would add to the whole equation would be about accountability. That you are the person that other people can rely on. That when you commit to something, you deliver it, or you when you don't deliver, you suggest 3 other good enough workarounds, or things that may work in this area. And it's especially important in context of working with AI. If everyone has the same API keys and the same models under the hood, it's the person who takes those inputs and takes responsibility for the decision that that kind of person gains the value in team, because everyone can generate, but not everyone can judge and filter. And if you filter and can be the person responsible for your piece of the project, then it speeds things up a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, the key goal I think anybody should have in mind right now is like how to stay relevant and how to be the valuable addition to this human plus AI system that I think like is just what we are going to hire for. I hope we will remain relevant as humans, but because there is a risk, of course, that all those skills that we've just described, again, I hope not, but that all those skills are just as replaceable as any other skill. I've read a very interesting paper on full automation versus partial automation. I don't know if I shared it with you, but there was a guy who was saying that when there is a set of tasks and only like that is performed by humans, but only a subset of this set of tasks is automated, and part remains like just human only, the value of human contribution increases, because I mean humans suddenly are able to focus on stuff that truly matters. And I think We are exactly in this situation right now. And the stuff that we've covered earlier, the skills that we described as relevant, which, by the way, I like those skills. I mean, to me, they all make sense. I want to be like this guy, basically, yeah? So those skills are now becoming more valuable in this kind of food chain of whatever, like when like augmented human is providing that skills and everything else is provided by AIs. The problem is that if we move from partial automation to full automation, humans are no longer needed and relevant, and suddenly whatever the skills they've had, the value drops to zero. So I as I said, I'm hopeful, but there is also the risk. Yeah, I think that for my own kind of if I were to choose, I would probably prefer the AIs to stay at the level that it is today, and just like keep it there for like 10 years or 20 years, yeah? Because I feel that I am adding a lot of value in the current setup. But if it's too good, then I will struggle to find my place in it. And I guess, that applies to many people right now.
I read an interesting, just to comment on that quickly, I read an interesting, I think it was even a tweet, that the window is closing for the knowledge tasks, and we probably have like 3, maybe 5, maybe 7 years before our tasks or our contributions will stop being relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But not to be pessimistic, we still have a lot of space to position ourselves properly for the next era. So when AI automates or makes 80% of your tasks irrelevant, it's all about what you do with the remaining 20%.
Mm-hmm.
As an employee, if you are able to identify those, it probably should take 80% of your time to understand how to move higher in the, excuse me for the term value chain, but those tasks will make you more relevant. How you orchestrate AI agents, how you help people adopt new practices, how you teach other people, how empathetic you are. Do you understand other people? Do you make them feel heard?
I feel GPT is more empathetic than many people I know. Wiktor, are you optimistic or pessimistic on this?
Oh, it's a tough question. Yeah? Like I like to have this idea that the changes that are happening right now will move us further from I would say, from capitalism to something better. Like we won't care anymore about money, about job, about our daily life, because those things will be assured through the automation and through
Well, that's where people
AI.
like Altman, Hassabis, or Amodei want to take us. At least this is what they say.
I'm totally in it. Yeah, I wish that would happen, but from the other hand, I'm pretty convinced, unfortunately, that the transition period will be pretty harsh for many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that we will get there and that we are heading there. That's the one point. But even if we are heading there, the transition period, which won't be very short, but hopefully won't be very long as well. I believe it will be 1 generation, maybe 2. But from the other hand, I hope that will be shorter than it could be, and that will get to the point where AI will actually help us to live in the world that will be less focused on making money on day-to-day job, but more focused on self-realization, let's say, or like people who want to actually do what they want to or what they wish to do for all the time, and chasing their dreams instead of just working from 9 to 5 and then coming back and watching TV series for the rest of the
Storytelling is an important skill in that context. I think people just like hearing stories, like telling stories, and it's just like it's cool to hear stories from people rather than AI.
It's what makes some Altman. I think he is 80% about telling story.
If we are talking about the skills or the like what people could do or what they could build, then I think that one thing that is crucial right now is the distribution. So whatever you are doing, like if you are building a startup or if you are making a podcast, like storytelling, then the most important skills or most important asset that you need to focus on and build is the distribution of what you are building, like how you will get to other people. Because building right now, whatever you are building, software, content, building is the easy part. How to get with your content that hopefully will be high quality, how to get with your content to the audience, to the enough of the audience that will make money for you right now. This is something that is crucial. So I recently, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Boris Muszelak or someone else on LinkedIn who said that he seriously recommends, if someone is asking, like parents asking him, like what their kids should invest into, what they should learn. He's saying that probably the most beneficial job right now is being an influencer, and he's pretty serious about it. And I agree with it. Right now, like building the audience, yeah, like if you have an audience, if you're known person, then whatever you are doing, you can leverage through it. Yeah? So and since building is pretty easy, then this leverage is the unique value that you can have.
Because at the end of the day, you want to provide value in one way to another. I mean, obviously through some sort of like economical exchange, preferably, but you want to create value and provide value to other humans, not to like some system or not to like AIs. Yeah. So essentially, this is what makes me hopeful. Humans are not going anywhere. We just probably need to figure out how we are going to create value with each other, for each other. And yeah, I want to end on a hopeful note rather than pessimistic note. That I see that although that there is still a lot to figure out, I think this is doable, and it's actually quite exciting to witness this. I remember watching a video on YouTube more than 10 years ago called "Humans No Longer Apply" or "Human No Need Apply." I'm sure you no something like that. And it basically explores. It's actually somewhat pessimistic. It explores the idea of automation and how humans become less and less relevant. I think even there is a quote like humans are now like horses with backpacks, like engine stuck to their backs, pretending to be cars, and this obviously is not going to end well. It's unbelievable to think that this video was created 10 years ago and how relevant it is. Again, it is quite pessimistic. So if you're in a bad mood, dear listener, I don't recommend watching it to make it even worse. But if you're just curious to hear some, old perspective that's very, very relevant, I would recommend this.
But just let me interrupt you. But what is optimistic in that it is still relevant. Like nothing changed.
That let's hope it is relevant for a long time. Yeah, only relevant.
On a hopeful note, it takes years to spread that kind of revolutionary approach and technology, because at the end of the day, it has to be integrated into existing systems, and the inertia of the current motivation systems is so hard that even if it's technically feasible, it won't be adopted by default by most of the cases.
But again, it's not the inertia that makes me hopeful. Yeah. And it's not like, the old structure has just like holding themselves firmly and like, I want to like, lean against and like find my safe place. I just hope is that we as humans are here among other humans. And this is the key aspect of our I don't want to sound too philosophical, but I really believe that this is the key element of our life. Yeah, like interacting with other humans and how to create economical value around this is something that we are just like figuring out every generation. And as you said, Wiktor, like influencer is a job like any other in my mind. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, guys. It's been great journey. You've been great to talk to. I've learned a lot. Thank you. And thank you, everybody listening. See you on the next episode of Hidden Layers.
Thank you very much
for having us. Bye.